Okay, moving on to the capsule. I only have not even 10 minutes to do this. My goal is to cut the lid off and start to make the flange. This is intense, making all these time capsules and bottles. It's really, really fun. Intense in a good way. Okay, last class, we closed the lid off. It's still pretty wet. It might be a little too soon to do this, but and then we measured from the bottom up to get an equal distance from the base to the beginning of the lid, and then I kind of put my finger in there so I knew where to cut. So now is the moment we cut. So this is where Lazy Susan, it comes in handy, and maybe even an X-Acto knife or an X-Acto blade, or I'm just going to use a needle tool here. Yeah, the first day back, you guys, really, it's going to be about procedure. Just giving you a heads up. It's really important that we be safe with the way that we function here together, or, you know, there's a chance we could not stay open if we're not being safe. So we have to learn how to be safe together. Okay, so I just cut all the way around, and then now I'm going to just like slowly lift this off, kind of like the skull cap here. And you're going to notice that the inside of your lid is going to look really funky. And that's because we put that top piece on, and of course we couldn't get inside to see it. So I'm going to hold it with my hand completely wrapped around it. Not going to put it on the table and start pushing on it because it's going to flatten out. We have to maintain the form of this, which is partly why you don't want to take it off when it's too wet, or you're really going to mess your lid up. But I'm just going to kind of close the seam here, but then do quite a bit of scraping too, because I have a feeling my lid is a little bit thick. I'm a little worried this is too wet to even do this, but I'm going to risk it. And maybe just put the warning up there that it might be a good idea for you guys to wait. If it feels like you're pushing it out and reforming it, it might not be time yet to do this. I don't even want to put it down. I'll go in and I'll clean this up a little bit later. Just kind of knock all those little cut marks off. Smooth it out a little bit. Take a second to cut this off a little bit, make it look a little nicer. You can do more of this when it dries a bit, and you can carve into it and smooth it out. Now you could put a flange on the inside of your vessel here, but because we did this technique where we're actually cutting it off, it makes more sense to put the flange on the lid and not the body of the capsule. And for this, you know, we're burying these, so I would even recommend putting some epoxy in between the lid and your body and really sealing it so that it can stay away from all the moisture. I mean, you don't want to put too many ephemeral things in there. You're probably going to open this up and have a moldy situation. So, because this is clay, it's not like we're fusing glass and metal together here. Clay is pretty porous, and the moisture is going to get in there. Okay, so put this back on. I cut it off pretty even, so I'm not too worried about a pumpkin situation here where I can't find where it fits. I can also put another coil around the rim. another coil around the edge of the lid that kind of overlaps this part, and that sometimes will hide, like if your lid doesn't fit perfectly on there, that little overlap cap thing will kind of make it look a little prettier. So that's an option. Doesn't have to be big. In fact, I think I'll do that today instead of put the flange on, because this is honestly, you guys, too wet. I need to spend a little time letting it dry a bit, which is fine because I don't have really time to do the flange today anyways. So that being said, I'm going to make a tiny little coil and score this edge. I'm going to try to pick a coil pick some clay that's pretty wet for this. We are going to clean up in about 5 minutes and take our whip pictures. Now I'm going to form this a little differently than just a basic coil. I'm going to make it a pretty skinny coil. Make sure it's nice and round. Bits in there. And then I'm going to flatten one side, maybe with the spoon. Why am I doing this? Well, I'm going to attach it to the lid like this, and I want it to kind of flare out. So the attached part can be, I want it to taper up onto the lid. So that part needs to be a little skinnier. I can also put it on the edge of the table here and very carefully use my rolling pin. And then I can decide which side. That seems a little more even, so I'm going to score this side. So you might be asking yourself, where should I be today? Well, if you're making your bottle, you should have closed it off today or getting close to closing it off. If you're making your capsule and it's a little bigger, you could still be building the walls up, but you're getting close to closing it off. That's kind of where I'm hoping you guys are with your pieces. If you find that you have just made your base and that's it, get to work. You are wasting your time in class if all you have is your base. Real moment here with Miss Groninger. Get to work. Okay, so I'm going to line it up, and I'm just going to gently kind of attach it at the moment because I need to make sure it's really in the right place before I really attach it. If you need to come to office hours, oh dang, I have like 2 inches spare. That's a bummer. No worries, just gonna make another little coil. This is a big project, you guys. This is a biggie. You'll get lots of points beyond this project for posting and taking videos of your burying it and sending it off into the world. So this is much bigger than just what you're making right now. And then there's an exhibition. So do not get yourself into a position where you're like, I didn't finish it, because it will could really affect your grade in a negative way if you don't have this complete. Okay, just giving you a heads up on that. It's kind of like the rules of abstraction. It's going to turn into our big fall exhibit. Okay, I'm cutting these at a bevel because I think it'll look a little nicer if I have it attached that way. don't have any excess. All right, so now is the time to be washing your hands. Go wash your hands, grab your phone, take a picture, post a whip. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to attach this lip to my lid. And by the next time I see you, my lid will be ready for a flange. And yes, work on this extra if you need to. Don't let yourself get behind.
Miss Granger, I just closed off my piece finally. Like it's finally.
Do you like the way it looks?
I just closed off my piece.
Do you like the way it looks?
Oh, it's a little uneven at the top right now, so I'm probably gonna like straighten it out because it's a little like I was rushing a little at the end in order to get a good picture like of the whole thing closed. But I think I'm gonna be able to like straighten it out when I'm done. So I'm pretty satisfied with how it's gonna look, and I'm already a little satisfied with it right now.
Sweet. Let me put my camera down so I can see. Show me. Ooh, I like the top. Nice. Did you make the lid within the form?
Yeah, this is kind of like.
That's super smart. That was really.
That's why I was asking about a lazy Susan because I'll have to like cut it really, really, really precisely. But
Yeah.
I figure out how to make it work.
Just go slow. A little bit at a time. God, that light goes out at the wrong time. All right, so it might be smart for me to lift this up and make sure it's not going to stick because I just attached it to the top, but it's probably going to stick to this part too. Make sure I've sealed the seam all the way around here. Okay, there's only a few minutes left. Make sure that you've taken a picture and you're posting your whip, and that you also did the check-in hello activity for today.
Miss Greninger?
Yeah.
I have a question about one of the past projects.
Okay.
So my mug, my little cow mug that I made has been like, I've kept it like wrapped up. It's not like wet anymore. But I think someone might have bumped into it and part of the ear came off.
Okay.
Is there any way that I would be able to like bake the ear, like the little piece of the ear and the like the main part separately, and then like after like I take it home or whatever, I can glue it?
Yes, but let me teach you real quick how to possibly do something that might work. Do you have any vinegar at home?
Yes.
Put a little vinegar on both the ear and then the part where it broke off. And the vinegar will break your clay down.
Okay.
Try to like let it break down a little bit and then score into it, and then put a little bit more vinegar on it and just stick it on there, and then use a little tool to try to reattach it.
Okay.
But don't put any water on it. Water is not going to be your friend on this. Vinegar will be your friend on this.
Okay. I'll try that.
If that doesn't work, then yes, you can fire them separately and epoxy them. But this first technique is better because you might not see that seam.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, guys, there's 2 minutes left. Make sure you're posting your whips. And before I put this on, what do I need to do? I need to put paper towel in between so that it doesn't stick and suction itself on. I don't want to put my lid down because I don't want it to get squished. I haven't created a flange yet, but just by putting that rim on there, it's definitely could stick. Stick that back on, make sure it's nice and snug because it's probably going to dry a bit. I'm not 100% excited about that, but I'm going to get there. That's how I feel about my work 90% of the time while I'm building. I don't know if you guys go through that, but okay, I'm gonna go wash my hands. There's only a minute left. Feel free to close out if you want to. All right, bye. See you guys on Friday.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.